Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans, and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist, and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your health, fitness, mindset, and body from where you are right now to where it is that you want to be. And I'm really excited today because we've got a really special lady with us. She's first-time author. She's just had her new book published, Vicki Wright. She's a consultant, she's a business owner and a network marketer, and we're going to hear all about her transformational story today. So Vicki, all the way from Sydney, Australia, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Rob. It's great to be here.
And tell me, your book. Now, when you're describing the title of the book, how do you say it? Because it's obviously written a different way.
I say, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah. I used to work with a guy who used to say SH1T, and I thought, oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I'm too old for this SH1T. Yeah, nice work. So where did the inspiration come for this book?
Okay. So to give you a bit of a background of my story, I've had a long career in the corporate world, working my way out through the ranks, I guess, so to speak, doing what we thought we were supposed to be doing. So working hard at school, getting a job, working, hard at an employer, and then supposed to do that for 40 years and then retire. And I sort of hit a wall. The corporate politics just really didn't align with my values, and I thought there's got to be a better way than this. And so, I dabbled in network marketing and always wanted to be my own boss, but I was never ever able to kind of really crack it to the levels of success that, I aspired to. And I saw that, is definitely possible, until I went to work on myself. And, as your show is all about, it's about mindset and resilience and mental toughness and uncovering those limiting beliefs. So I guess the crux came a couple of years ago in one of my corporate jobs, where it was like the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
And I just held my head high, but said, I'm too old for this. And
so can I just stop you right there for a moment, because I love the moments that change people's life.
Yeah.
What was, obviously, for privacy and whatever, don't share the corporation and the exact thing, but what was it what happened inside you to say, no more, I'm not going to do this again, this is it?
Yeah. I had to give a presentation to the C-suite. I prepared for it night after night, involved my direct manager or executive. He liked it. He agreed with the approach. I'd engaged the services of an external strategist as well. Went into the boardroom, started to deliver, got to slide 2, and basically the whole team, bar one woman, turned on me and said, none of these ideas are rubbish, including the guy who I'd worked for probably 10 years, who had agreed with me in the preparation for the presentation. So I just thought, you know what, again, hold your head up high. They've asked you to do all this work. They don't like it, and yet you're still getting paid. So who's the dumb one here, them or me?
Yeah.
So I just, that was the point.
Yeah. Wow. Did you find out why they didn't support you? What changed?
Because there was some other sort of corporate takeovers and mergers and things happening in the background. And, again, had that person shared that trust and confidence with me, then I wouldn't have wasted my time or theirs, and probably could have come up with a workable solution. But it just epitomizes corporate politics.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a very similar experience.
Oh, wow.
When I was in a big corporate role, we were involved with a special project to restructure, and our job was to basically strip costs out of this finance company. And we worked with the management. There was another guy and I working with senior management to help do it. And we got to the level that they said. And they said, let's say it was 20%. They said, okay, you've got to cut 20%. We got to 20%, still a working model. And we thought, great, we've done it. Then they said, it needs to be 27. It's like, where did that number come from? So we worked it back to 27, got to there. They said, no, it's got to be 30. And they just kept changing. Then we got to the position where we said, yeah, we can do this. We'd agree with senior management what we could do. And it got to we had to do a presentation to our senior team. So it was one guy who was then going to present to what was called XCOM. And we went to that meeting, we laid it down before him, and the guy I was working with, he said, "Nah, I don't support it." And I'm just looking at him saying, "We just agreed with this last night. What's happened?" We had to present in the morning. I said, "When you went home last night?" We were like, already. He said, "Yeah, I thought about it overnight and whatever." And anyway, I said to the exec, I said, "Look, if this was my money," I said, "I would invest in it." And he said, "Okay." He took it on board. I didn't know what he was going to do because they wanted to cut this out of the whole company. And he came back from the presentation. I said, "What happened?" He said, "No, we decided to keep it." I thought, yes. Sometimes you just got to back yourself, don't you? But not everybody's going to agree around you, unfortunately.
Right.
So well done to you. Good decision. So then tell us what happened from there. So you made that decision. Were you already doing, a little bit of a hustle on the side with the network marketing stuff? Or
yeah, definitely. But I think it was my own limiting beliefs around, because you'd share it with your friends and family, and most people would say, "Oh, you're not in one of those things, are you?"
Yes.
That's a pyramid scheme, and you kind of, okay, talk to me about it. But I didn't have the confidence then to really, unpack those answers. And instead I kind of, sort of just shuffled my way across into the corner and kind of changed the subject. And I thought, hang on, what the hell is going on here? My values don't align with the corporate world. I've determined that. Everything about network marketing makes complete sense. The people that were around me were really, really supportive and awesome. And the whole premise of the business is built around, people supporting and sharing each other because it's in their interest to help others succeed. So I said, what am I doing wrong? So I did some study. So I'm a fully qualified hypnotherapist and a practitioner of NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. And that really helped me to uncover some deep-seated limiting beliefs. And once I got rid of that rubbish in my mind and, got the right support around me in terms of company, I started to fly.
Yeah, nice. And then the journey to the book, how did that take you to writing?
I was actually just sitting down with my husband one day, and he said, "Oh, I think you should write a book." I'm thinking, okay, great. What do I write about? Is it going to be a love story, a murder mystery? What is it?
Yeah.
And then I thought, I'll just start writing about my story, I guess. I've always been really, really passionate about the whole personal development field, which is obviously a large part of network marketing as well. So I've listened to plenty of people like, Robert Kiyosaki, JT Fox, Jack Canfield, so on and so forth. And I just started writing from there. And, it only took me about 6 months to write it.
Yeah, nice.
It's a fairly easy kind of read, I guess. But I actually enjoyed doing it. I love reading, and I love sort of consolidating all the lessons and the wisdom that I've learned from others over the years into my own version.
Yes, fantastic. It's the journey in itself in writing a book is something that it's hard to describe, I think, because I remember writing the first chapter of my book, and it took me ages to write it, and I came back to it in a couple of months, and it was rubbish. I thought, who wrote this? This is trash. No one's going to want to read this. It doesn't mean anything and stuff. So I had to kind of start from scratch. So you really find out something about yourself. And certainly because you've got it published, that's a whole other game. And then getting your book published and finding people that want to print it and stocking in bookstores and all that kind of stuff as well. So congratulations. It's a huge achievement.
No, thank you.
I've ordered my copy. It hasn't arrived yet.
Okay.
And I know you've got a special for offer for people at the end when we get to the end of the podcast. So thank you. Thank you very much for that. Before we, delve a little bit further into, your book, I wanted to get an understanding because obviously we're still living in these very uncertain times, and you're, moving from a corporate, high-paying executive positions and then trying to replace that income and taking that leap of faith and all that kind of stuff. I do want to dig more into that. But tell me, what have you learned about yourself with COVID being around over this last 12 months?
Oh, I've just learned to be to live in the moment. And, you know, I think one of the main things with the travel restrictions, um, over the years as a family, we spent a fair amount of money traveling and taking the kids overseas. And sometimes I would look back and think, oh, if we didn't do that, maybe I'd have this or whatever. And it's true. Like, money comes and goes.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you put your mind to it, you can always find money, but you can't find memories.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I've got out of the COVID thing is, well, no one, I don't think, would have ever expected, you know, the series of events that happened over the past sort of year. And that's what it's taught me. Live in the moment, be grateful, and, you know, make the most of it.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting. I mean, we're living in different states, and I know you didn't have as anywhere near as severe lockdowns as we did down here, but there were certain times where we just had no idea how long the state was going to keep us locked up for. It was over 12 months. We shut down for almost 8 months across 3 lockdowns. But there was a point where I was thinking, do you know what? You could be a billionaire right now. You could have a $200 million yacht, your own plane, and whatever. You can't use any of it.
Exactly.
And it was very similar. Like when you die, you can't take any of it with you. One of the things that it certainly did for me was make you appreciate the relationships that you have, whether they be business relationships with your, your friends, with your kids and everything. And they certainly strengthened for me. It gave me homeschooling and stuff, and it gave me greater insight into appreciating school teachers and how much they take on and how much we expect them to do. But also understanding more about what the kids are doing in school and becoming closer with them as well. And I think I was excited by COVID, not from the health perspective, if we put that to one side, because that's all tragic, what's going on there. But I thought, how many times are we going to, like you and me, going to live through our lifetimes and go through something like this, where it's really an opportunity to test ourselves?
Yeah.
And, that's what I love about this show. It's talking about mindset. How can you push into something that's so challenging and completely changes the way that you need to think about how you do business? I thought that this is a real gift here.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that part of it. And like this last 12 months has been my most successful ever because
Congratulations. That's great.
thank you. Because of doing things like this, doing Zoom calls with people and doing coaching with people via Zoom. Whereas before, I was doing coaching with people that live in my suburb. And, I had some clients that just lived around the corner and they're at home and I'm here. Now, if I tried to sell that out of the pandemic, they're like, what? Well, unless I can come in there and do it, I'm not going to do anything. But because we were forced to, it changed everybody's thinking, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I feel like it's so much easier to connect with people globally now because it's just the way that we communicate.
Yeah. It's certainly opened up a lot of other relationships around the globe for me too. It's been really, really, really exciting from that perspective. So let's jump back into your book for a second.
Okay.
So tell me, you've gone from so you spoke about limiting beliefs. So how did you overcome that, I guess, that biggest initial one? Because people will be listening to this right now and maybe they've taken the leap or maybe they want to, and they're like, oh, geez, how do you do that? Like if everybody's different, but if you're earning, 100, 150, a couple of $100,000 and you think, man, I just turn up to work. I've been doing this for years. Now I want to step away from that. And I've got to reproduce that income on my own by doing something that I've never done before. I'm excited about it, but I've never got to that level. What would your advice be to help people get over that?
Okay. So remember the number one thing I mentioned to me was the limiting beliefs. So, and some of those were, oh, you're not in one of those things. And then you just kind of challenge that. So instead of, you break that down, well, how do you determine it's a thing and that no one makes, this globalized thinking of, well, no one makes money in that. Okay, nobody. Let's really question that and challenge that belief. I've been to plenty of conventions, network marketing companies over the years, there's heaps of people making a lot of money,
Lots of millionaires.
significant money, right? And there's a lot of people that aren't making money. Some don't make any, right? But it's the attitude.
Yep.
And you know, they all, those people that are walking across the stage haven't made that money overnight.
No.
You know, they've planned, they've been persistent, they've looked to others and modeled them successful people, and then done the same thing. You know, you always follow in the steps of others who are successful. So, you know, you challenge those beliefs and then you just break it down.
Yeah, I think you've made a couple of really good points there. I think one of them is that people expect to achieve change, you know, just like that overnight and to replace that income. And I think if you've got that mindset, then you're living in a fantasy world. I'm sure you would agree with this, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. But I have, now that I left a corporate job 13 years ago, you know, senior manager, you know, six-figure income. And I thought, yes, it's a big step, but I'm really passionate about it. I used to think I knew what working hard was. It wasn't until I started running my own business that I realized, oh, right, that's what hard work looks like. I think everybody, I think every employee should be forced to run their own business for at least 2 years and have to, they can only survive off what they earn.
Yeah.
So that then when they went to work for an employer, like if I ever went back to work for an employer, I'd be way more grateful, I think, because I
Yeah.
realize how hard it is to do what you do and get the systems in place and management
100%.
structures and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It is.
it's really hard work. So like for me, I reckon it's taken 10 years. 10 years for things to really start to motor along for me. If that sounds scary to people, then, well, like in the network marketing company that I'm affiliated with, the average person is earning something like, don't quote me, I think it's like $437. It's something like that. And people like go to those events and they see, you know, the millionaires up on stage and everything. And they're like, oh, wow, I'm going to do that. And they get all rah, rah, rah. But none of those have become millionaires in 12 months.
No.
The average is like 6 or 7 years or something.
That's right.
And so they're not overnight successes. They have to keep working at it. So you're absolutely right. And I think challenging the fact that, you know, these are schemes and that kind of stuff is really false. I think everybody knows somebody that's been involved with a scheme. For me, I was put off for many years because it was the person. It wasn't the product. It wasn't the company. It was the person that came from the wrong place to try and push something onto you. And I think when you can understand, you affiliate yourself with something that you believe in.
Exactly.
You know, you like the culture, you like the ethics of the company, and you're passionate about helping others, then that's a game changer.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you must believe in the products. You want to believe in yourself, but also believe in those around you. But I think one of the other reasons that I wrote the book, not everyone's going to feel the same. You know, like I've given copies of my book to friends and family, and they're like, I just don't get it. Why would you want to do that? Like, you know, it's so much easier to just go get a job. And, you know, as you say, the people that are supposedly the overnight success, look at sports stars who train and train and train and fail.
Not one of them are an overnight success.
No, not at all. You know, actors, how many actors make it to the, you know, the box office, and how many are waiting tables?
Yes.
It's the same thing. Every sphere of work, of life, you know, sport, it's persistence and it's determination, it's commitment.
Yeah. So if somebody is sitting there thinking about, you know, making a shift, what would you say is the first thing that they need to do in terms of, if you want to turn this into reality and stop just thinking about, oh, it'd be nice if one day, or they're listening to this and say, oh, Rob and Vicki is so lucky that they're able to do that. And trust me, in my case, there's no luck. It's just all dedication, hard work, and a lot of failing in between.
Yeah.
So what would your advice be to somebody that, oh, look, I'd like to do that?
Yeah. I guess, if they've been approached by somebody, then to, go back to that person that's asked them about an opportunity or introduce them to a company. First of all, maybe try the product, see if they like them, because, it's got to be authentic and it has to align with your values. So you've got to align with a product and a company that, as you said earlier, that you like the culture and the ethos. Follow the steps, but give yourself some time. Give yourself time to learn, expect failure, and start to build some of that mental toughness and resilience, because unfortunately you're going to get a lot of no's, because a lot of people just don't understand. And again, that's one of the reasons that I wanted to kind of make network marketing a little bit more mainstream, if you like, and start to dispel some of those crazy rumors that have unfortunately surrounded it for so many years.
Yeah, well said. One of the things that I know from some network marketing stats, basically you need to talk to 10 people to get one person that's interested. And that might sound really daunting for people, but if you are running any type of business, it's not dissimilar. It's just that you're doing it in a different way, I think.
Exactly.
The other important point to note here is that with this type of business, you don't have to say, okay, I'm going all in straight away. You can keep doing what it is that you're doing, and you could dedicate 30 minutes to an hour a day on working on this other business and growing it. And I think probably what you're also growing is just your confidence and your ability.
Exactly.
Because one of the keys that I think is crucial for network marketing, you have to be a great communicator. You have to be willing to grow. You have to be coachable. You have to be willing to step outside your comfort zone so that you can step up where it's needed. If there's a room full of people, there's a room full of opportunities. You don't have to talk to every single one, because that's probably not going to be possible. But if you talk to people, then things can happen.
Exactly. And the other thing is never assume. So don't assume that,
Great point.
That person wouldn't be interested, so I won't talk to them, because you'd be kicking yourself, a couple of months down the track if a competitor or just not really necessarily a competitor, but somebody else, they say, come to you and said, wow, I've joined this awesome opportunity. And you're thinking, wow, they could have been, part of my team, and I could have been coaching them and working together.
And it is tough, isn't it? Because I know my inbox, before jumping on this call, actually, I think I had 33 emails sitting in my inbox. I would get over 100 a day. Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever, I get hit up with all kinds of different offers all the time. And a bunch of those can be different network marketing things as well. And that can just put people off, because they're being hit by so many different angles that they think, well, when something does present to them, they think, well, I'm not interested in that. But I think you hit it on the head when you said, well, we all use things in our life, right? We all eat, we take supplements, you use makeup, you clean your house, you do, a whole range of different things. The question is there a better alternative out there for you? And if you really enjoy the products, well, if you don't, forget it. It's the wrong product for you. You can't be false about it. But if it's something that you genuinely believe in, like I do with the company that I work with, then it's a no-brainer. It aligns perfectly with the business that I run. So it's an easy conversation with people. But once again, you don't have to go all in. Like I'm not. It's not a huge part of my business. It's a part of it, because it fits in quite well. Would I like to spend more time on it to grow it? Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like you said, go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, but it's still growing there on the side, even though it's not my main focus. It's still growing.
And like you said earlier, with your business and how it's had to, I guess, transition during COVID, likewise, network marketing has as well. So, my business is all conducted online.
Yeah.
So, and that, as you said before, it's positive, because you can reach so many more people than just like the kind of old school kind of having parties and things in your home.
Yes.
We can reach so many more people in different time zones, which means that you can be sitting on the couch, kind of, watching Netflix, but, going through your phone and making connections.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the there's so much work, is like the company I'm with, they spent billions of dollars on infrastructure and striking up relationships and so forth around the world, so that if you are building teams internationally as well, and you haven't had to do the work apart from the communication, but you don't have to pack the products, you don't have to, pardon me, ship them, all that kind of stuff. It's all taken care of for you.
Yes.
All you have to do is create the relationship.
Yeah. To me, it just makes sense. I know Eric Worre, who's well known in the network marketing industry as a trainer. He said, network marketing is not perfect, but it's just better. And I agree. It's kind of easy to go, and depending on your job, you can turn up every day. You might be working hard, and there's certain challenges and so forth. But at the end of the day, you're going to get that paycheck coming in,
Yes.
week after week, month after month, whatever. This is different. It's really stepping outside your comfort zone, because that certainty is not there.
Yeah.
If you don't maintain relationships and keep going, then that pay might not be there the next month, or it might be significantly less than the month before. But that's where the passion and the mindset comes into it.
Yes. Yeah, you do. You really do have to jump out of the plane and hope the chute opens on the way down. And sometimes it won't always open. But if you want to grow your wealth, and just about everybody on the planet, they talk about wanting more money, then you're probably not going to do it in a corporate life. You say, oh, well, I'm earning 200 grand a year. Fantastic. But if that's all you want to earn, then, and that's not a criticism, but if you want to earn $1 million, then you're probably not going to do that just by staying in that place. But by using your same skills and maybe learning some new ones, then you do have a situation where it's all on you. And that's what I love about being in business. And it took me a long time to get to where I am now, but I know that, wow, I did all this. This is all on me. If I want to earn more money, I work harder. I come up with new ideas, new products, services, etc. And I think that's exciting.
Yes.
At the start, it scares the living crap out of you because you think, how am I going to do it? And then you do it and it doesn't work, and you're like, oh man, what's wrong? I'll give up. But no, you got to keep on. You got to keep on pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
I think also if you're affiliated with the right organization, like the training, the support, the mentorship, the coaching that exists, the camaraderie is really quite remarkable. And I think that's an exciting prospect. So you don't have to be on your own. And just like anything in life, there are people in there that you're not going to gel with. But you build your own team, you find the people the leaders that you connect with, and you do it that way, don't you? I think that's how I see that works well.
That's one of the things I really love about it is that culture, that support, and that I choose who I want to work with, which is completely different to the corporate model.
And I think also too, now people are just so used to shopping differently. I mean, look at the number of extra staff they had to put on at Australia Post for deliveries and everything during COVID, because everybody's shifted their mind from having to go to a store or a shopping center because we couldn't, so they're just buying it all online, and to just have another place to go to get your key products for a particular area, then fantastic. It's easy. It's a no-brainer. It's taken care of for you. They're going to come each month, and bang, it's just easy.
It is definitely. And yeah, like the way that service and shopping is changing, so too is the workforce. So another thing I talk about in my book is offshoring and outsourcing, and people that have been kind of relying on a job for so long, technology might have taken that job away. And so, wow, yeah, we're shopping online, but people are, even insurance and, all the telecommunication services, everything's going offshore and being digitalized. So, there's fewer and fewer traditional kind of jobs around.
Yeah. Let's say people are still staying in their corporate job, but they've got this bit of a side hustle thing going on the side. well, obviously you had that moment where you said, "No, that's it. I'm out of here and I'm all in
Yeah.
here." Was that a case of you were already doing really well out of the network marketing side of things, and you thought, "Well, it just makes sense now. I'm really peeved off over here," or were you still like, "Well, I'm not even close to replacing my income, but I'm so fed up here. This is going to have all my energy now."
Sure. I did a hybrid, or took a hybrid approach. So I took a redundancy from the company. And again, I detail that in my book. People might think, oh, wow, I'm made now. I'm set. I've got this payout. Payout doesn't last that long, let me tell you.
Mm.
So I did some consulting as a self-employed person, which I still do from time to time. And I built the business up on the side. So, again, you've got to do what's right and think about things logically. If I were in a position to just, cut everything and go, hell for leather into network marketing at the time, great. But, like everyone, we've got bills to pay and, food that we need to eat. So that's how I did it.
Yeah, nice,
Yeah.
nice. And it was still scary for you though?
100%. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I describe a scene here where, someone's got that redundancy payment and they're all excited and I can go on a holiday and I can, renovate the back veranda and whatever else. And then they pull into the driveway and start to think, wow, now I've got to go up to my family and tell them that I'm actually no longer required. And what
Yeah.
that does to you, mentally and spiritually as well is also of concern. And it's something that you need to really think about the impact besides the financial.
Yes. Yeah. And if you, it's only fairly recent, isn't it? A couple of years?
Yeah.
Yeah. So people might be listening thinking, "Oh, well, it sounds like you're talking 10 years ago," but it's pretty
Oh,
recent
no. Yeah.
for you. Yeah. So tell me, what are your plans? What's your vision for this year? Because it's still a bit unpredictable. I mean, today, at the date of recording this, Brisbane, which is north of both of us, is going to a 3-day lockdown. They've got 78 cases
Yeah.
now going there. It's going to blow out further and further. So we're still living in a very uncertain time. What are your plans for yourself for this?
Yeah, my plan is to get my book out there as much as possible so that, as I said, I can work towards my goal of getting more people to understand what the benefits of network marketing and how it might be an opportunity that they'd perhaps consider or reconsider. And obviously continuing to grow my team and share the opportunity with others.
Yeah, nice, nice. So, last couple of questions. What keeps you awake at night? What do you go to? You know what I'm talking about? You go to bed at night and you're lying there and you think, "Oh man, I need to do this. I've got this problem, etc." What keeps you
Um,
awake?
What keeps me awake? To be honest, not a lot. Things used to keep me awake, but I've got a pretty good routine down pat now in terms of taking some time out for myself, mindfulness, and it's all about, yes, there's more things I'd like to do, and like you're getting kind of the more engagement you put out there, the more you're getting back, and sometimes you think, oh, I'm overwhelmed, but you just got to put it into perspective and think, oh, I'll do what I can do. And make sure that you're getting enough sleep, enough nutrition, enough exercise, so that you can cope. Because if you're not going to look after yourself, you definitely can't be there for others around you.
Yeah, really great point. Obviously, near and dear to my heart. So you take some time out every day to make sure that you're doing those things for yourself.
Yeah, I do, because I notice if I don't, then I'm not as productive.
Yeah, yeah, well said. Um, Last question has escaped me. Um, I was going to say, you said something just then. I was going to say something, but it's gone from my mind right now. One of the things that I do notice in myself, that's what I was going to say, the busy factor, and
Mm-hmm.
keeping that balance right. And people talk about work-life balance and stuff, and I don't believe that you ever really achieve it, because you're always just focusing more on the work side of things. But if I had to do what I do now from day one, I probably would have had a heart attack. The point being that you build your resilience, you build your efficiency, you build your strength, you build your confidence in knowing what you need to do each day, which initially you don't have.
Yes.
So I think the more, I'm sure you'll agree with this, but the coaching has been huge for the development of me. And I've had a heap of different coaches over time. and it's really helped me get my perspective. And I think you have coaches for a season maybe, so that they take you to a certain place, and then you need a different sort of coach to help take you to that next level. And that certainly helped me gain my confidence. Otherwise, I never would have written a book. I never would have done these shows because I didn't have the confidence. I mean, I used to hate standing in front of people talking when I was in school, but now I'm like, you put me in front of a room.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
Isn't that great that, you said it
Yeah.
before, all your success has been on you. And it's just like this. Yeah, there might be some things that you don't know, but you can learn them.
Yeah.
Just because you might not think that you're good at something, you probably aren't until you learn. No one is at the start.
Yeah, that's right. That's a great point, because you just don't know what you don't know. And I know that sounds silly, but you might think, like, I used to have this horrible self-image of myself. I had this, really poor self-belief. I didn't think I was, going to amount to anything. Why? Because at school, I just wasn't a good student.
Mm.
And that made me think that I was never going to be able to be good at anything. And you may be watching this right now and thinking, oh, that's how I feel right now. I don't have the confidence to be able to sound like you're doing. Well, I can speak on behalf of you too, I suppose, that we wouldn't have had the confidence to do what we're doing now at some point in our life either.
No.
But you just keep having to step outside that comfort zone, don't you? And just step up.
You have to. And you know what? You might step out of that comfort zone and want to jump straight back in. But, stay out there for a little bit. And yeah, it'll be uncomfortable. But it's worth it, because you'll get past there. You'll get past that uncomfortable, because then your zone will become a little bit bigger. So your comfort zone is expanded, and then you've got to step out a little bit further. And it's actually really, really satisfying.
Yeah, and the rewards are really remarkable, and it's not just financial rewards. It's the people, the conversations like I'm having with you now, the people that you get to meet all around the world, and the impact that you get to have on other people's lives, people that you've never met before.
That's right. And I mean, you know this better than anyone. It's like a muscle. You've got to kind of work it and put it through a little bit of pain to see some results.
Yeah. Hence why this show is called the Mental Toughness and Body Show. You've got to keep working that mindset. This has been fantastic, Vicki. You've given us a whole bunch of great content here. Just to close this out, I did want to, why don't you tell us about, firstly, the special offer that you've got? Tell us what that is.
So I'd like to give any viewers of your podcast today a copy to receive my book for free. So just reach out to me via my website, www.victoriawright.com.au, and I'll send you a code to do that. So 10 copies available.
Yeah, oh, wonderful. Thank you. That's very generous of you. Now, if people do want to get in touch, obviously you've got your website that you just said there. Facebook, LinkedIn, where's the best place to?
I'm on Facebook. I do a lot of my business is conducted over Facebook Messenger. But feel free to reach out to me on that, on Instagram or on LinkedIn. I'm across all channels.
Yeah, fantastic. As Victoria Wright, or as your Vicki?
Victoria Wright.
Okay, fantastic. So look, my advice would be grab a copy of Vicki's book. It sounds fantastic. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I thought I would have had it by the time we did this interview, actually, but haven't got it yet. And if anyone is interested in being part of Vicki's team, then reach out to her. It'd be fantastic. Really enjoyed having a chat with you, Vicki. It's been a couple of years since we've had a good conversation. So I appreciate you taking some time out today to have a chat with me.
I appreciate your time too, Rob. Thank you. It's been great.
No worries. All right. Thank you. Stay safe, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.